Everybody back off. I'm buying everything. Now,
None of this
So
is
where
for
is this
sale
gonna?
yet. This is all R&D.
Where is this gonna
Whoa,
be?
what is this?
Research and development.
What's up? What's up?
Oh, look at the cars.
Nothing.
That is
Look
so
at the
neat.
new stuff.
Whoa,
Who needs
amazing.
food?
We'll just
Boat. Lighthouse. Okay.
Oh, let me go there. I want to see what's.
There it goes. Loading in for me now.
Wow.
Hey guys, get on the road. You're gonna get hit.
Look.
weird, yeah.
There's
You're
a
gonna get hit.
smokestack,
Wow.
and there's
Yeah,
cars.
so what
Look
this
how
does
everybody.
is
This
just
is
give you a
really
little
neat.
bit of a taste of what we're going to be able to turn Infiniverse into
Showing this
as we
metaverse.
continue to
Hey,
develop.
there's a boat.
They were showing all kinds
Yeah.
of look-
Boat. Lighthouse.
looking cars.
Allison, did you want a boat?
Crazy.
Look out, don't get
Right?
hit.
There's a boat over there.
What?
This is so cool.
This is
I
dope.
got it.
What about like the
I appreciate
the towers
you.
here that we
This
can
is
actually
great.
go into the tower? Because some people don't have 96th floor in a building. What if they can go on that
Yep.
and go up and actually have a view without owning a place?
Yeah,
What is it? Pizza base?
Okay.
that works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Can you
suggestion.
buy
I don't know
something
if it's on the list already, but
Right?
oh.
Yeah, I mean, if you look, that over there is sort of like a park, and it's got the tower on it. But if you imagine some of
Yes.
those grey spots that we got in the town, where there's nothing in them yet, they could very
Mhm.
easily have something like that on it.
That is
What's
so
this
cool.
to the right here?
Amazing.
What's this tunnel? Where's it going?
Sorry, what did you say? Didn't catch that.
Will that teleport us to another town, or just nothing yet?
So at the moment they
yeah,
don't. No, those don't go anywhere. But that would be the idea in the initial one. But that was before we worked out how to make it bigger. And at the moment, it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need a teleport to another town. It can just grow. So this was before we got to the point where we could get, as big as we can in Infiniverse. And this was the exploration into the first version of it, creating a town like Infiniverse. And it's from this that we built Infiniverse, but we haven't got all of the visuals from this into Infiniverse yet.
Well, I like the trees. I love the palm trees now.
I love the cars.
Yeah.
These cars are fun. They keep breaking over and over. You know what I'm saying?
Do we need a mechanic?
Now, how
Hey, you go
How
to
old
them,
is
like
this
you
place?
stand in front,
Really
you stand
cool.
in front of them, and they just break. That's funny.
I saw it.
The
Eiffel
break when you stand in
Tower.
front of them.
That's
How long
Eiffel
you guys
Tower.
been working
That
on
is
that?
dope.
How many years? One,
We've
two,
been working
3?
on Multiverse for about 5 years. We've been working on Infiniverse properly for about 2 months.
2 months.
Whoa.
You guys had to have been working
Whoa,
around
that's
the
a cool-
clock
that's
on
a good
that, on
picture.
that, on the
How do
Infiniverse.
you guys carry
Yeah,
them
pretty
big
much.
heads around? It has all them brains in them.
So,
Yep.
Yeah, someone said Christmas. What's that? Doesn't
Yeah,
exist
who?
this year.
Oh, okay.
I
Back
spent
to
my
our
whole
little
Christmas.
car.
I spent my whole Christmas
Yeah.
walking people through the controls, teaching people how to do this stuff. Yeah.
Me
Yeah,
too.
That was cool. It
And
was
in
good
New
times.
Year.
Good times.
You know,
Yep.
Gamer, I told you about the problem that I've had with some, things about the buying and selling stuff. So my headset glitched 2 days ago. I had to reset the whole thing. I'm hoping that helps a little bit. I don't know, though.
yeah. Well, I mean, keep on telling us about those things. The problem that we have with development, one of the biggest issues, is when bugs happen to somebody and not to somebody else. So if we can't see the bug, it's difficult to fix. When it happens to other people, the best thing we can get is as much information as to why or how it happens, and that allows us to track it down. It's like the glitch we have with the coins, which was horrible, because obviously when people buy coins, they want to get them. I understand that. That's pretty fair. The fact that it took a huge amount of effort, both from us and from Oculus, to try and work out what it was, because it wasn't something that should happen, and it was only when the bank refused the payment and wanted confirmation. That was a difficult bug, because, again, we didn't get that problem. We were buying and we were spending money, but we were never getting to the point where the bank would say, yeah, it's a problem. So, every time we have an issue that is something that we can't see, it's the most difficult thing to solve. So that, I mean, we love the feedback. We love it when you guys tell us about things that we can't see because it helps fix it.
I know my coin is low right now, so I need to put like 1,000 in it and have you walk with me to a couple places.
Where can we?
Sometimes you can see exactly what I see.
Yeah.
So,
are you guys
I'm concerned about buying a place? It might happen again.
Central Land?
No, and we don't see ourselves as competitors to them at all. Those guys are doing cool things. We respect that, but we don't think that we're doing the same thing at all. I think, obviously, the fact that you can buy property makes people put us in the same box. I think we're very different. I think the key thing that we're doing is trying to really create the internet. I don't think that that's what they're trying to do. And the big thing, I think, comes down to the whole thing of blockchain. Being a blockchain company is a limiting factor. We want to be the internet in 3D, the virtual internet, the metaverse, which supports blockchain, but isn't blockchain. And I think that's a really big difference. Because I think that one of them is short-sighted and the other one is long-sighted. And we've had a very long-sighted attitude towards this last 5 years. That's not going to go away.
So is this what it's going to look like? Because this looks pretty dope over here.
Well, this is not as good as it will look. This is halfway. You know, there might be areas of the town that look something like this, or districts that are cartoon-based, but this is, in my opinion, low quality. So I think we're going to see a lot more than this, a lot better than this.
So this is low quality right here to you? That's crazy.
Yeah, this is low quality in my mind.
See, I go on my watch, and it shows you and Father Schwab are now offline.
Yeah, so that's because we're in a special location. There are hidden areas of the game, or the app like this, which other people can't find us in, and therefore we're hidden as offline. So that's something that is an effect of the hidden areas. But if
will we be able to come back here?
Because busy.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all the proper area that I think is going to be popping. Ethereum in.
I'm sure.
Go to Ethereum in and buy some property.
So, question. So, I'm sure. Are you going to connect this to a smart contract and connect it with NFTs? So maybe a Ethereum network or Solana or anything like that.
Yeah. So we want to support NFTs. We need to confirm with Oculus that we're going to be able to, and that is one of the key conversations. Our goal is to make it so that when people buy a property, if they want to, they can convert that property into an NFT and trade it outside. But that is something that Oculus don't have a defined opinion on yet, and therefore it's difficult to work out whether we can or we can't. I mean, legally right now it's okay, but I don't know whether they're going to change their opinion or have a different stance, and that needs to be confirmed with them before we launch that. But in principle, you should be able to trade the apartments and the properties that you buy as NFTs outside. I can't promise that though. That's the only. Every time I'm very clear on that. We will do our best to make that possible, but we cannot promise it.
Okay. Yeah, but that would be amazing. If you can put it.
So I mean, there is. Let me put it like this: I really like the idea of blockchain and NFTs. I don't think it's appropriate for a company like us to tie ourselves to it, because it's a little bit like a shop. Exactly. Yes, and the users should be allowed. Yeah. Well, so. What we want to do is anything that is possible on the internet should be possible here. That is what we want. However, because we are on other people's platforms, and because we, for example, sit on Oculus, there are restrictions that Oculus have that mean we can't do some things that the internet does. So, for example, gambling, real-world gambling, is not allowed on Oculus, and therefore we can't do that on the Oculus platform. That doesn't mean that we couldn't have an area inside the PC version that did do that. But within the Oculus realm, that would be disabled. So there are a lot of things like that that we need to work out, and we are in the process of sorting all of those things out. But the key concept you should have in your head is, if the internet can do it, then we want to do it. It doesn't mean we want to tie ourselves to it, but we want to do it. And that core concept you should be able to say, again and again whenever it comes up to any question. However, there are two caveats. One, which platform allows it. And also, the other thing we're very cautious of is child safety. We want to make sure that children are safe, and we want to make sure that that gets looked after. So within those two, taking aside those two problems, which we aren't necessarily in control of or we need to manage, everything else, yes.
Oculus needs more controls on their units.
So these vehicles down here, are they going to just be cosmetic, or are we going to be allowed to drive in them or ride in them eventually?
So
good question.
I want to let them be much more than cosmetic. I mean, the whole point from a game design point of view, and I've come from game design and game development for the last 20 years of my life. The concept that we have when it comes to products with games is you don't add anything unless it has a value, has a game mechanic. Adding a tree, sure, it can sometimes be for visuals, but it should primarily be for gameplay. It should be because you want to hide behind it in a shooter, or you want to use it for something. And it's the same in this. If we're going to put something there, it has to have a purpose, and it has to have more than just a visual purpose. So putting cars in is cool, but putting cars in drive is much cooler, and has a real value. I think that core principles from a game mechanic point of view, if we're putting something in it, it's going to be because we want to turn it into something. And that's the same thing. If you look at Infiniverse, you'll see that we built skyscrapers, and the point is for having businesses there. We built the storefronts at the bottom. We set those aside, not because we want storefronts at the bottom, but because we think there's a real value to you guys having storefronts. And it's that type of concept that we want to put. If we're going to put a boat in a lake, it's because we want you to be able to sail in the boat, not because you just want to look at the boat. That type of thing is very much how we think. So again, we go back within the company, within the team. Whenever we talk about anything, what we're doing, what we're adding, we're always discussing the concept. What's the core principle? What is it that we're trying to do? How does this apply to what we're doing? With regards to the internet, if it can be done on the internet, and if we're allowed to do it by platform holder, we will do it. It's not a question of anything else. With regards to gameplay, vehicles, what's the point of having vehicles there? Unless there's a purpose, we're not going to add it. If there is a purpose, we're going to make it gameplay related.
I love it. Awesome. I do have a nefarious request. Is it possible to eventually have an event where we could stage like a Purge? I'm sure you've seen the movie The Purge, right? Where it's just chaos for 24 hours or whatever. Is it possible to add something like that into?
So it's entirely possible, but one of the things that we feel, again, is a core concept. This is an inclusive experience. This is about everybody being there. The internet doesn't exclude, but the internet also allows for people to do certain things in certain places. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that. A lot of people talk to us about economics, and they say, well, are we going to have a scenario where there's politics, or where there's a demigod or a controller of an area? And we would never do that across the whole place, because that would be detrimental to everybody else. But if a group of people want to have a certain group of areas where those people do that thing, go for it. Have your fun. Go and do your purge. But again, it's a little bit like Zombie Town. Zombie Town as a game is cool. Not everybody likes zombies. Should we have zombies roaming around Infiniverse? Yeah, that would be cool in the Zombie Town area of Infiniverse, but not downtown in the business park. And I think that it's that sort of concept that we want to adopt.
That's dope.
Where it's appropriate. For the people that want it, let's do that. But for the people that don't, they shouldn't be impacted by zombies. They should just be able to go about their business and have fun without it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How cities will be divided? Where you can own? Will it be like mini games where you can earn like actually meta coins?
So I'm going to answer two questions. First of all, yours, because I heard yours clearer. So the meta coins as per the Oculus definition, we are not allowed to cash those out. That's simply a rule that Oculus have. If money gets spent in-app, it can't be cashed out, which is why we're talking about the whole NFT process of apartments. But using Metacoin inside the app for other content, whether it's avatars or whether it's gameplay or whether it's other things, 100% yes. That's the whole point. We want an economy and we want people to be able to spend it. You guys should be able to take your 500 free coins, go to a location, invest it in a property, make the property go up, take those coins and take your property, sell your property, make huge amounts of coins, take them to a new place, buy a small property, and take the rest of your coins and go spend them on a game. I mean, that should be
kind of make those. Can those coins help me in the real world?
Oh man, it would be awesome if you connect to a blockchain so we can cash it out.
Well, we can't do that. Again, that's the one problem. If that was possible, we would, but that's not technically possible due to the Oculus constraints, terms and conditions. But the NFT is the way to do that. Purchasing something that is attached to an NFT is not outside of the realms of the terms and conditions, and therefore that's something that we can do. However, again, PC version of Multiverse is going to be coming, and PC version of Multiverse isn't limited to a platform holder that defines those things. So potentially there are other ways of solving things. I don't know.
And I can transfer from Oculus to my PC, correct?
I'm not going to say anything yet because I don't know whether that's going to be possible, but imagine what that would be like. Potentially there's stuff there. Like I say, I can't guarantee any of these things, but these are the sort of things that we're working on. And I think, again, if you take the core principles that we've talked about throughout today's chat in general, you'll see the sort of direction we want to take this. And, we'll see.
Yeah, that would be definitely next level epic for the gaming world. Being able
so what we're seeing right now...
Can other projects partner up with you? And
absolutely
maybe discuss
one of the key things is this
we're talking about?
If we're going to create the internet, it's not about us owning the internet, it's about everybody else owning it. It's about us creating
I think we got the most properties on the game so far.
And I think that the idea here is absolutely we have their domains. I mean, the internet was based around the concept of buying domain names and then putting content on that domain. And that's pretty much what we want to do here.
Yeah.
We want you guys
to I got a lot of properties here. Y'all should come check out
use the Metacoin
check out
for advertisement. The more Metacoin you have, so you can spend out on advertisement. It would be cool, and I know we can promote our projects here and gain followers and show what NFT world is all about. Yeah.
Exactly.
That'd be dope to be able to spend our Metacoins on like advertisements and shit in popping areas.
Yeah. Again, there's absolutely no reason that I can see from the legal point of view that we shouldn't be able to do that, and therefore that's one of the things that we're going to be trying to do. I have to caveat everything with let's see what the
like
platform
skins
says.
And stuff like
but in principle, yes.
Okay, I've got two suggestions that I've addressed before, and I'd like to put them on top of the pile again to kind of refreshen them. I don't know if this is the proper setting for that. I know you want to show us what you guys are doing here, but this is some suggestions in the regular, so I can either address those now or talk to you in a more private setting.
Ask them now. It's cool.
Okay. The kicking ability for the host of a room. Whoever is the host of the room should be able to have the ability to boot somebody out if they're causing a ruckus. I believe it should only be the host of the room that's able to kick people out, just to be fair to everybody, so it's not a massive fight going on. So that's one thing I'd like to add to the top of the pile. And another one would be like the doorbell, like a doorbell. Let's say Allison and I are we're in an apartment and I'm spilling my guts to her, and Chevy pops in. Now that just totally kills the vibe. So I'd kind of like a notification, like Chevy wants to join you in your room. Do you accept? Sorry to put you on the spot, Allison. I apologize. But that also raises other concerns with, say, child safety and whatnot. So I don't know if that, that may complicate things a bit, but I just like to add those concerns to the top of the pile.
Yeah, they're very much on our list.
That's cool.
I mean, the big thing that we've got to do at some point is work out the multitude of different scenarios for how you want to have social interactions. And that is from a point of view of, like, at the moment, you can have a private domain and then you can invite people to it, and that's cool, but you can't stop the people that you've got as members from coming or block off to a private chat. So having parties, private parties, where the people that are grouped up in a party can travel around in their own shards and never get disturbed by other people, it's a key feature, and it's a key feature for multiple people. I think that would probably solve quite a lot of your problems, because if you could say, well, you and Allison are together and you don't want anybody else to join, simply create a private party. You two are together, nobody else can join. You're in your own shard, and if Chevelle comes and joins, she'd come and join an empty shard. That would be the best way to solve it. Now, obviously, having a knock ability or doorbell ability would increase the functionality and would be cool, and probably also cool in other scenarios. Likewise, if you have a private metaverse, at the moment, there's no way in-app of inviting somebody to it. And that's obviously a problem. Because you don't want to have to go out and send somebody an invite and get them to go out of their headset and accept the invite before they can come into your environment. It's a complete mess from that point of view. And we need to fix that. We need to solve that. That's also on the list. Mm-hmm. But there's about 5 or 6 different variations of that problem that we need to solve, and they're relatively convoluted and complex, which is why we haven't done them, because otherwise they'd already be there. But we do need to solve those. We're aware of that, and they are high on the list. Kicking somebody, we're probably going to enable it so that anybody that is the owner or any of the members of the domain. Yeah. So let's say I create a public domain, but we create a group where Tabarich, Stizzy Saz, Allison, and myself are all members of that group, and you guys are just visitors. At that point, any of the members would be able to kick anybody else or ban somebody. And we would create a system of that nature where there were roles, and the roles had capabilities. So those are very much on the list. Ooh. But at the moment, due to the various things that are happening with regards to the number of people that we get in, it's something that is lower on the priority list than some of the others. It will climb as soon as we shift the others from the top.
Okay. Do you have a timeline when your child's going to be fully? Do you have a timeline when your child's going to be fully grown here?
They never fully grow.
No,
my daughter's 42 and still call her a kid.
Are we crawling? Are we walking? Yeah. Where are we at here?
Oh my God, this is pre-spermatozoa.
Beta, yeah, pre-beta.
Okay.
This is early. I mean, we seriously, we're talking decade worth of plans already.
Wow.
Okay, I like that.
Wow.
So literally, this is pretty much going to be a walk-in gaming internet. Like, you can walk to a Google search engine maybe or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, we've been building this for 5 years already, and you guys have come in at this early stage. But it is on 5 years worth of tech, and there is a hell of a lot of design thought that's gone into this, and where it will end is relatively far down the line.
What's the name of your company that's
keep gaming,
paying
keep
you?
Gaming. I appreciate this, bro. This is great content.
Chevelle?
So one question I think I asked before, maybe twice, but as far as people that come in, and some of us see new people come in like every hour if we're in here a lot, and we try to help them find a place or 2 places they can get under 500. And then you got people that come in and say, oh, I got places, and start taking them away. Do you have anything set up? Because I'm open for it if you need people to have a certain tag on us that says, a helper, assistant, some kind of a, not realtor, but
we're working on that. We've got we've got the rep tag.
I enjoy being in here.
Yeah, we got the rep tag, and that's been used for the representatives that do the resales. But we are looking at an info helper tag that we'll be adding soon. And obviously, we'll need to set up some guidelines for what those people can and can't do. so that it's a really clear message. You know, if you're going to be an info helper, then you've got to stick to these guidelines. But yeah, absolutely. The idea for us is very much to get people in and not to, you know, one of the issues that I have on a personal level is, even though it's great that we're making money, which is helping the development and funding, you know, the future of the product, it's not about us just getting everybody to spend cash. It's cool that they're spending cash. It's great that they're spending cash. We love it when they spend cash because it means we can do more work because we've got more money to be able to do it. But we give people 500 credits because we want them to be able to set themselves up without having to worry about that problem. And it's for the other people that want to go further that they can go further. So having
we went further.
People find the places that mean that they can set up without feeling intimidated. At the moment, I walk into Grand Central and even I feel intimidated. My God, these skyscrapers are big, you know. And I think that finding ways of exactly. You know, again, part of the problem of being so successful so quickly means that we've got that, you know, issues like that we've got to solve. They're luxury problems. I mean, yeah, they're great problems to have, much better than the other type of problem. But at the same time, we do need to fix them, and we are aware of it. Again, that's where the Discord comes in. That's where knowing who is in the app and who's helping and seeing you guys go around and looking after other people is great. I mean, we want this to be a social, healthy, happy place. And yeah, of course, there are going to be people who are going to be doing other things. But realistically, the majority of people tend to want to help other people out, tend to want to be here to help each other, you know, have a better time. And that's really what we want. That's really what this is about. And that's what the internet's about, you know. Sure, there's a lot of shit that goes on in the internet, but if you look at it percentage-wise, the bad stuff is pretty low. The good stuff is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, when people first come in, because I had to reset, when I first came in, I had to do everything all over again, push the buttons and learn everything that I already know. But for those that are actually new, when you enter in, it doesn't say, go here to the Infiniverse, right? There's no signs pointing to it. And then once you're in there, you see all the buildings. And once you're in again, there's nothing that says, you know, assistance, you know, like a little tower, a button, something you can push there. So,
curator.
Like I said, we need some kind of something to help the people when they come in versus us just standing there saying, "Oh, you look lost," you know, and they're lost because they don't know what they're doing.
Agreed.
Yeah, just something in there. But keep me in mind if you need someone. I'm mostly available.
Absolutely. So, I mean, to be clear, you've highlighted some of the obvious problems. Again, we initially launched this just over 3 weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, and we've seen huge explosion in users and people getting on board in 3 weeks, which has been crazy, been wonderful, but also has been crazy. We initially launched Infiniverse in the dev zone to test it out, and it immediately became popular. Immediately we could see that this is what people wanted, and so we moved it to the Grand Central. But at the same time, moving it to Grand Central was positive because it boomed, but it also meant, you know, there are problems that we need to fix. And again, we are very, very thankful to you guys for helping out. We're thankful to all the support and the information and the input that we get on the Discord channel, because those things really do help us succeed. You know, every time people report a bug, we take it seriously. We categorize it, we list it, we put it on the table, and we say, right, yeah, this one's important, but it's not as important as that one, or whatever it is. So yeah, we acknowledge it. Don't ever stop telling us, but do know that we do take it seriously, and we are listening to everything, and we are listing all the things that get noted.
Okay. Will there be any more like land or properties built that's already there, or this is it?
Oh no, there's going to be a whole load more. We got everything
for a reason.
To new areas. And we're working with some potentially massive partners that are going to be opening up districts with bespoke content and featuring events and stuff like that coming. I can't tell you any more, but there are some really exciting things on the horizon.
Yeah, because I know I want to do like some concerts. That'd be decent.
Well, we want to. So one of the things at the moment you'll notice, for example, just this last hour there was a event in the Metaverse, and it was an event that people can go to and watch a bit about, you know, games and reviews and things like that. At the moment, that happens in the Metaverse. My goal is to have that happen in the Infiniverse on billboards around the world, so that when an event is happening, it's happening either across the Infiniverse or in a district or in an area or around a certain location, and people who are interested in it are in that area. And I think that sort of stuff is going to become more and more interesting, more and more exciting, and more open to other people like yourselves. So if you've got things that you want to do that you know are, for example, child-friendly, at the moment that's a big part of what we need to do, vetting the content. But if you have events you want to host, contact us, talk to us about it. We are absolutely open to other people coming in and participating in the content that gets displayed, shown, and put up. Father Schwab.
Yeah, I definitely.
Now, have you had any companies invest as far as advertising or anything goes? And the reason why I'm asking is because I was watching somebody play real estate agent, and he was talking about how some multi-billionaire had purchased some penthouse floors and McDonald's purchased, and this is going to be the fashion show runway and all that. Basically what I did was I popped down to his crowd. I said, look, what this guy's saying is BS. I'd recommend to get on to the Discord. You talk to the devs. The devs are very forthcoming with the information, and this spot that he's talking about right here doesn't look any different than 50 other places that you can randomly pick. But anyway, my question about the companies.
I think what we'll see is, I mean, obviously, one of the problems with a platform like this is chasing after the scammers. But how I see that is a little bit different to most. In my opinion, a scammer is a good thing, because a scammer will show us what people want. Not necessarily what needs to be done, but what people want. And if people are looking for destinations, where content is being placed, where people are hosting content, or where big names are, great. That shows us what people want. It doesn't mean that the scammer's right and the scammer shouldn't be banned, but it does mean that that's something that has value, and we as developers need to listen to that. Likewise, events, people are talking about events and having hosting content. Yes, that's what we want. There will be big companies in here. We have no deals right yet, but we are in the process of talking to some relatively interesting companies, and those companies are going to be doing some relatively interesting things inside of Infiniverse, and we should be seeing that happen over the next, months. We should start seeing some really interesting shows appear. But when it does appear, you'll know. We'll talk about it. There'll be destinations in the app that pop up, just like you saw the dinosaurs yesterday. There's going to be some more cool things of that nature, which are bigger, more interesting, more special, and they will be popping up in some of the spare, areas of land around. That is how we will go about it. And like you say, we are extremely forthcoming. We're extremely honest, and we will be, upright about everything. Wherever we can, we'll be honest and tell you what's going on, and we will make sure that that's on Discord, make sure that that's talked about elsewhere. This is something that we can only do with the support of you guys, which is why we're in here so often, which is why we like talking to you, because we want to make sure you know what's going on so that you can spread the information. But yeah, there are scammers. We fix it, but I don't think we need to fix it so much by banning them, kicking them, as much as working out what they're trying to do.
I wasn't talking about banning them.
Giving you all the ability to solve that. At the moment, some people I've heard are trading properties outside of the app, and that's obviously a fault of us for not having the ability to trade them inside the app. So it very clearly shows what people want to do, and that's something that we use as direction for where we're going to go with the company.
That's cool. Yeah, I just let him do his pitch. I let him run out of gas for a while. Then after about 10 minutes, I popped in. I said, "Look, get on the Discord. You can get a lot of information from there. If you want to buy, I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes, but just take it for what it is." And then I bailed. So it was kind of fun to watch that all develop there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I need to get on the Discord. I was just going to ask you, there's an area, like 2 whole blocks, maybe a little bit more, that's all locked. And the rumor that I heard, which wasn't on the Discord though, I have to get on that, that Ford may be buying that or reserving it or something, so people start buying it more around it. Why
No,
is the
that's
area locked in
nonsense.
the first place? I don't know. But it makes everyone go, oh,
So
let's buy everything. So
yeah, so the locked areas, I don't even know what they're for. I have been asking my team, they haven't told me. So they're either a bug or they are something that the coders are doing in secret without telling me, which I think is cool. I don't know which one it is. We'll find out. But yeah, they do things. My coders do things that I don't always know, which is cool. You know, they're clever people. I trust them. But at the same time, it could just be a bug. I don't know which one.
There's also 2 buildings I saw with the name on the bottom. Multiverse is actually backwards, so we couldn't get in it. But then I just saw someone bought the penthouse on one of them, but it's still backwards. So I don't know how that happened or what's going on.
The backwards one I know is a bug. I don't know what the bug is and why it happens, but sometimes, and it's random, sometimes the doors will flip and become inverted. We need to work out why. Yeah. Don't know why, but it's a bug. And if you come back into that room, if you leave Infiniverse, come back, those doors won't always be flipped. They might be the right way around, and you can buy them.
Yeah, I noticed that one myself. It comes right back.
Well, my room is upside down.
How the cities will be divided? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yours is upside down?
It's okay. The first time again, too.
It's upside down. It makes me very sick, but it's upside down.
Yeah, the upside down one is another one we've not experienced. Other people have. We don't know how they get that bug. So if there is any way that you can recreate it, let us know on the Discord.
Oh yeah, you can come and join me. It's upside down.
Yeah.
Is it always in the same place?
You can go through.
I believe so. Christian and I were there, and it was completely upside down. But we went back, and it's still upside down. So I don't know. Maybe I haven't checked since yesterday, but it was upside down.
Let me know.
And then
if that is the case, then we need to know which one that is, because Chris will be able to help work out why.
Okay. Because
has anybody noticed that you can get out of
to another room, and it was
you can get out of the balconies. We know.
And then the world was upside down, and we actually had to close out of Multiverse and come back in for it to be right side up. It was weird.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Has anybody noticed that they can walk on top of the buildings?
Oh yeah, that's what I like doing that.
Sure.
Yep. That.
Yeah, I've got one. Steps. Why? I mean, I'm like handyman on the side, you know, in real life kind of a thing. But I did pharmaceutical for umpteen years. I retired. Why are the rooms not finished off on the ceiling? Because I want to get in there and paint that.
That is a light bug. So when the rooms get rendered on the servers, they go through a process called light mapping, and the light mapping has a bug in it. And for some reason, that room has a bug. We're fixing it. Very soon, the rooms will change out, and there will be a different room for the penthouse than there is for the other flats, and that will be coming within weeks. And there will be a distinction between the penthouse, the flats, and in the future, you'll be able to upgrade each of the apartments separately. So you'll be able to choose.
So are we going to have to pay? Are we going to have to pay for the premium all the time to change stuff, or are we going to be able to buy it and fix it? Or
there's two different things. Yeah, the premium accounts are useful from a point of view of some of the extra features that cost us money that we need to host for servers and Vimeo. You have no idea how much the Vimeo costs are for streaming the content. So those are why we charge the premium. Most of the packages are defined by the costs that it costs us rather than anything else. So if you see a feature in the enterprise, it's because we cannot bring it down cheaper due to the cost of servers or something else on our end. Our goal is to bring as many features down into the free or premium as possible, but that really just comes down to costs and service providers and things like that. The servers are an extremely expensive part of this process.
Imagine
it's a big cost. We are thinking, however, about making a specific.
You keep talking about
I'll come back to dividing the cities.
The purge.
Let me ask.
All right, sorry. Yep.
So one of the other things we're looking to do with the premium package and the business package is create special channels in Discord for each of those clients, so that a premium client will be part of a special group with other premium clients. We'll get a bit more attention and also be able to talk to other premium clients about what their experiences are and how they work, which I think will be cool. And the same for business. With regards to how we're going to break up the districts, that's not entirely defined. We have core concepts in the code of what the districts are and what those districts are going to be achieving, but it's difficult based upon current understanding. We need to let it organically grow a little bit. One of the things I'm very keen on is content and districts and communities being built up by you guys around content that you think is interesting. I don't think it's our job to define it too much. We will obviously set seeds or sow seeds from a point of view of maybe we want to have a campus in this area, but then whether or not the campus takes off or whether or not you guys turn that into something bigger or better or whether it dies, in a sense, is up to the community. It's not for us to control what happens. It's for you guys to do that.
Pardon my language, but the campus is the shit. That's awesome. I like the campus a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how we break them up, I'm not sure, but we are looking at interesting things there, and we will continue to expand that. I do want to get, terrain in. At the moment, it's all very flat in Infiniverse. I'd like to have mountains, hills, and other things. I'd like to have oceans. I'd like to have rivers. I'd like to have bridges across rivers. Those things are relatively complex from a code point of view. We will get to them, but they won't come straight away. I think you can expect, more of that type of content coming pretty soon. So, parks being filled up with spaces, a tower like that appearing in locations. And I think that sort of stuff you will see pretty quickly. Boats and the ability to navigate around on a boat or own a boat in a lake. I think those things are going to be coming, a lot quicker because they're easier to do and also it's proven.
Awesome. I was just rethinking the whole thing of privacy and people in a room talking. If I'm in my room, it's limited now, isn't it? You can only have so many people that can enter it, or could I actually get 100 people in there? It's limited, right?
No, there's the concept of a room, and then each room has infinite shards, and a shard is sort of like an instance or a server or there's so many different terminologies for it in game development, but we call it a shard. And shards are basically, if there's 12 people in Toon City, the next person that arrives, the 13th person, will arrive in an empty shard, which is the same room, the same things, but will be empty.
Okay, so I'm kind of rethinking the thing of privacy that you could put almost like, maybe this sounds funny or what am I thinking about? You got grasses and parks everywhere. Why don't you just pitch a tent? So if people want to go in, it's only limited to 2 people. Something smaller to limit the people that go in it. And over time, maybe the tent can disappear around you. So, if you get 2 kids in there, it'll expire in 15 minutes or something. It's private for kids.
Yeah, I think we'll find that the that core concept is part of the concept of parties. So if we have to create something of that tech, we will have already created the party concept, and therefore it won't be needed. I think the party thing is a powerful tool and will be used quite a lot. So, Father Schwab and Allison will decide to have a party that's just 2 people, and they'll go on a tour together.
I'm sorry, Allison. I'm so sorry. Yes,
absolutely.
Oh,
Always. Although you die in the metaverse, you die in the real world.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Now I'm scared.
Yeah, we talked about the Matrix before.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's different concepts that need to be understood, and it's a little bit like the internet. The first time the internet was invented, there was concepts that none of us understood. What was a web page? How did that work? What was a domain versus a web page? I was confused by all of those things the first time I went online. I think that we're going to see the same sort of thing with the metaverse and multiverse and how we built it out. The idea is it has to be seamless in the end. It will take a while for us to get there, but it shouldn't be something you think about. It should be something that sort of just happens. A little bit like how you don't go to Facebook and worry whether you'll see whether your friends are online or offline or what they're doing. You just think, well, if they're online, I'll interact with them. If they're offline, I'll leave a post. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have an effect. And I'm not sure that technically we understand how to do that yet, but it's got to be achievable. And once we get there, it will be a pretty cool experience. There's going to be a whole lot of clever processing going on to work out how to do that, how to let people stay interactive and engaged together. But it isn't something that I think you should worry about. I think we should just do our work well, and it will happen. I think, let us get on with it. Let us get on with creating a world where 1,000 people can be together and it doesn't get confusing. Let us create a world where you can go together and say, right, I just want to have a few people together, and you do just have a few people together. Let's create a world where you want to be with your friends, and therefore you're with your friends. It doesn't matter whether they're in a different shard or not. Our tech should solve that. I think that's our goal, and it's complex, yes. I don't exactly know how we'll achieve it, no, but it's got to be doable, and we'll get there. Exactly. Yeah. It shouldn't, just like when you go to Zoom, you shouldn't have to worry about whether you can hear each other or see each other. One of the key things that happens when they go to a Zoom meeting is the first thing anybody says is, "Can you hear me?" And it's like, that shouldn't be a question. That shouldn't be a question. The fact that that is a question means that they've made a mistake. And likewise with us, we acknowledge that there are mistakes, that there are problems in the code because it isn't seamless. It should be seamless. It should just work as it should work. We need to do the hard work of working out how to do that. You guys just need to have the experience.
How many of you people are working on this? What kind of crew do you have?
Yeah, I've got probably some of the most intelligent people in the United Kingdom working on this, but not as many as you'd imagine. What we've achieved in 5 years, I think we've done with a smaller team than Facebook or Google could have done with thousands of people over 10 years. I do think that I've got some of the smartest people with regards to this type of technology that you can get. I'm not going to tell you how many because you won't believe me, but we've achieved things through hiring the right people with the right experience that wouldn't have been possible if we just started from scratch. The guys that I've got have been working on games like Little Big Planet or Dreams or No Man's Sky, game concepts that are vast and complex and massively user-generated, and their experience from, I guess, decades worth of work on stuff that is cutting edge means that we've been able to achieve something in a long period of time. 5 years is not short, but still, we've been able to achieve something in 5 years that other people wouldn't have been able to achieve in 10. And I think that's, it's very much a focus of us is to get the right people involved, make sure the right people are doing the right things. It's now 1:15 here, and I'm tired, so I'm going to be heading out.
Imagine that.
Is there any last questions we need to get through?
Excuses to leave. No, just kidding.
No, thank you.
We know.
Now, when you leave, are we kicked out of here, or can we explore?
You can explore and just go back to your homeroom and then Infiniverse or whatever it is. We'll go straight back to the Infiniverse. You're welcome to explore, have fun, and remember that what you're seeing here is a research and development process. So there are bugs, there are issues, but it gives you an idea of what we're heading towards.
Cool.
Use it for that.
Okay. I assume
so
pictures are okay to take and post elsewhere, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, go for it.
Beautiful. Well, thank you very much for your time, man.
Yeah, have a good evening.
Appreciate it.
You too. Take it easy. Have a good night.
Yeah, ciao.
We'll talk to you later.
Yep. Sleep well.
Allison, I'm so sorry. If my buddy Beam Pass was here, I would have used him. I just saw your name and I just dropped it. I'm sorry. I apologize. Sorry.
Allison, he's trying to get you in the room.
I should be upset.
Well, no,
you're not letting me in.
See, I could have been spilling my guts out to Chevy. I could have been spilling out my guts to Chevy, and Busy popped in and just ruined the vibe. Sorry,
I do that last night with Player, and it was very interesting. They were climbing each other. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, those cars are just crashing into everybody down here. The red car's still smashing the building over there.
Can we?
Oh, I gotta see. That's a drunk driver over there. No, we go out. We can't come back. I'm gonna go fix